A yard with lunatics, and two of them fighting completely naked while their warder beats them, and others in sacks. It is a scene I witnessed in Saragossa. This is how Francisco Goya described yard with lunatics to his friend and patron Bernardo Iriarte in a letter he wrote on January 7, 1794. The scene is bleak. Two naked men are fighting in the center of a courtyard. A guard, the only man dressed differently and properly, is about to beat them with a stick to break them off. We can't see many of the other patients. I guess they're not patients since they're not taken care of. Lunatics? I don't know if we can say that word anymore. Victims might be the right word. We can't see many of the victims in the scene, and the ones we do see look at us. This is an unsettling painting, as Goya is used to making, and it's unsettling for two reasons. First, the inmates' conditions are terrible. These are inmates. Michel Foucault, in his Madness and Civilization, A History of Insanity in the Age of Reason, writes, "The asylum was not a free space for healing. It was a place of exclusion, where madness was silenced rather than understood." Asylums were more akin to prisons than to hospitals, and they often made the inmates' conditions worse rather than improving them. This is probably where these inmates will spend the rest of their lives through no fault of their own. We're witnessing here deep injustice. Second, while acknowledging the fact that we're facing deep injustice, we're also perversely looking at the lunatics. We are voyeurs, looking into their world, watching them fight naked and, in a way, being entertained, if not by the brawl, then by the exoticism of madness. The inmates staring at the viewer are some of the most exotic, striking, and unusual, but they're also confronting the viewer's gaze. It's forcing us to wonder, is our gaze perverse? Is it empathetic? Or is it a bit of both? About 2 decades and a French invasion later, Goya would revisit the theme. This time, however, he's much older. He's in his late 60s, and both his physical and his mental health are getting worse. Solely through his art, you can see that the man was burdened by what he saw. He made a whole series titled The Disasters of War. So Goya painted the Madhouse, perhaps a lighter take on the asylum. There's a lot more happening in the composition, perhaps starting with this man who seems to be on the verge of stabbing someone in front of an outraged bystander. There's also some kind of king wearing a crown made of feathers, having his hand kissed. A man with bull horns is trying to fix them to his head. This guy seems to be mimicking some priest, and I don't even want to know what these guys are doing in the shadows. However, the central figure of this painting is the man wearing a tricorn, fighting, even positioning his finger as if it was resting on a musket's trigger. Remember I quoted Michel Foucault's Madness and Civilization, A History of Insanity in the Age of Reason? Well, he concluded his book by talking about this exact painting. The Madhouse is less concerned with madness than with the vast monotony of these new bodies, shown in all their vigor, and whose gestures, if they invoke their dreams, celebrate especially their dark freedom. What is this dark freedom? It's the freedom that comes with madness, the freedom from internalized institutional control, freedom from reason, and from the domestication that comes with living with strict social norms. The man in the tricorn is not mad because he has stuck an old hat upon his nakedness, but within this madman in a hat rises, by the inarticulate power of his muscular body, of his savage and marvelously unconstricted youth, a human presence already liberated and somehow free since the beginning of time by his birthright. Foucault saw in the tricorn man an ungovernable man. He's radically free in the sense that he doesn't have the internal barriers which would prevent him from doing what he wants. And if what he wants is to pretend to be a soldier while being naked in an asylum, that's what he'll do. Some see in this painting a criticism of authority, likening clerics and the political elite to lunatics. Some, like Foucault, see this painting partly as a celebration of dark freedom. Some will see it as a funny scene of some crazy people acting crazy. One thing is certain, Goya wasn't commissioned to do these works. He didn't make them to sell them. These aren't the kinds of work people would hang on their wall anyway. He said he made them to occupy my imagination, tormented as it is by contemplation of my sufferings. So what I'm wondering, and that's the question I'm leaving you with, is what effects do these paintings have? On the one hand, they're exposing the living conditions of what were called lunatics. But on the other hand, they run the risk of becoming curiosities, a form of visual circus where the victims of asylums become figures of entertainment, fascination, or ridicule. What do you feel towards these people when looking at these works of art? Do you feel sympathy, or strangely and perhaps reluctantly, do you feel entertained? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, we're in a studio. Doesn't that make you think of like the streaming era of the channel, or of what we used to do on other channels? Well, guess what? I want to bring that era back. So if you want to check out the streams, it's on Twitch. It's Germinal with 2 A's. There's also streaming segments on a second channel, Germinal Anarchy, I believe it is. I can link those in the description if you want to check them out. I don't know when I'm going to stream. It's either going to be the day before this video comes out, maybe the day of the video coming out. But in any case, we're going to be hanging out. I miss talking with chat, answering questions, getting into debates, reading the FAQ, reading to you some anarchist information or whatever. So there's a couple of things that I've been wanting to do with streaming, and I'm looking forward to do it again as we used to back in the good old times. Anyway, check out Letterboxd. I just watched the Color of Pomegranates, which I really enjoyed. So you can check out my review of it. Well, you already kind of spoiled. You know I loved it, but you can still check out the review and see why I liked it. It's like 2 paragraphs. It's not very long, but you can still check out my Letterboxd and follow me there. I still have the goal of becoming the greatest or the most followed Letterboxd account ever. We're not, or at least Letterboxd famous, I guess. Anyway, that's for another time. Thank you to Roman Brandel, X Towns, and Jeff, and every other patron who should be scrolling by me right now. You are the reason why I can make YouTube videos to the extent that I'm doing them right now. Because if not, I would have to slack a lot. And like being in this studio, giving me the opportunity to stream eventually, which is going to be a lot of fun. Very excited for that. So yeah, thank you for all the patrons. If you want to become a patron, check out patreon.com/thecanvas. And if you can't become a patron, you can like, subscribe, share with your friends. That always helps. Always, always helps. See you maybe during the streams, or I don't know, see you around. See you next video. Oh yeah, the Albert Camus video. That's not going to come. that's not happening. I'll probably talk about it on stream though. And maybe we'll make a video from the stream, you know, of me talking about Albert Camus and like the responsibility of artists, the purpose of art, and all these kind of things. So we can talk about that on stream and make a video that will probably go on the second channel. But still, you know, it's valuable information. I know some of you were excited for that. It's just that it would have just been me talking to the camera the whole video, and I don't know. I don't want to do that video. I don't want to do that kind of video. It would have been less essayish, video essayish. It would have just been like me talking to the camera, which is what I do on stream. So that's what we'll do on stream if you want to check it out. I think that's enough. If you like these outros, you're going to like the stream. All right. Have a great day, evening, week if you're watching this on Sunday. And see you in the next video or on stream. I read every chatter. So come say hi. Okay, enough. Bye.